Pluto is stationed at 29-degree Capricorn, let's talk about Capricorn. And the energy of Capricorn is very complex. Um, Now, when we think of Capricorn, we do think of status, authority, like reputation, responsible, um, consistent, and because Capricorn is an earth sign, but it's also ruled by Saturn. Saturn is a ruler of time. So there is an inherent sense of Capricorn having to take its time in learning lessons and gaining its wisdom, because it's when we think of Capricorn, we think of the goat going up the mountain, and every goat has its own path up the mountain, but it's very ambitious, so it's very focused on its goal of getting up the mountain. And all of the mountain goats are going up the mountain at once together, and sometimes Capricorn can butt heads with other goats, not realizing that we all have our own path up that mountain. So, and there's enough room for everyone. And Capricorn also, it being related to the sea goat, takes the spiritual information from the sea and brings it to the land, of the tangible, of the 3D, and builds a foundation from its spiritual knowledge onto the land. That's supposed to be kind of the ideal Capricorn energy. And so it's supposed to be a mix of the inner and the outer worlds. It being the sister sign of Cancer. Cancer is about mastering our emotional states and getting in touch with our emotions, ancestry, learning about ourselves so we can nurture ourselves and others. Capricorn is about building, and it's about building not only your reputation, but building something that will help society in some way. Because there is always the mix of the spiritual with the physical, the tangible. And so Capricorns were ruled by Saturn. Saturn has to do heavily with karma, and the spiritual journey of Capricorn involves multiple lives. So we're taking our knowledge from multiple lives and incorporating that knowledge to build foundation on. So it's not just from this life alone, which is why Saturn is so heavily involved, and why Saturn has such a heavy hand on our shoulders, guiding us into different ways, because we've been here and we've done things differently so many times that we kind of do need something from time to time to come in and kind of like steer us in the right way when we start to go off a bit. And lessons are usually not very pleasant. Otherwise they wouldn't really be hard to learn. And with the idea of timing, if something's not meant to happen at a certain time, no matter how hard we try to manifest, it's not going to happen, because if we don't have the foundations to support the things we want to manifest, they're not going to stay anyways. So that's also a part of like Capricorn. And so, when I think of the signs and the elements, I think of Capricorn being the sea goat. It's like the water and the earth. So to mix like water and earth kind of makes mud. And with mud, you can make structures out of them, like start to build, some kind of physical thing. But you need that like water energy for it to transform into a substance that can be shaped. And that kind of is part of like what Capricorn does, taking that knowledge, that spiritual knowledge from all the lessons, and then turning it into something tangible that can be used in society, like bowls, for example, making them out of clay, and things like that. So Yeah, just some thoughts on Capricorn. I know it's not an easy sign to be. I'm heavy Capricorn. I have Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus in my Capricorn house, the sixth house as well, which is also not one of the easiest houses. I have a lot of lessons surrounding routines and my health, and being of service to others, but also, taking care of myself in daily life and daily work and with my peers. It's just a lot. So, yeah, just I'm sharing some thoughts on Capricorn. And if you're interested in an astrology reading, you can look to the link in my bio.